It does look like Tesla has reported. So has IBM, by the way, and some of the other companies that were scheduled to report today. So we can see that on the on
See
earningshub.com.
a lot of green.
A lot of green. So Tesla has beat top line revenue, which the estimates were 26.5 billion. It came in at 28.1, almost 6% beat. But EPS, the estimate was 50 cents, and it looks like they met the estimate of 50 cents. So no beat on that. What's the stock doing?
Like they're down just a little bit.
Okay, not much though, 0.4%. Um, what are your thoughts about this quarter's Tesla report and where they are, like, and what's going to happen in Q4 for them, and what's the long term look like for them?
I feel like in the short term, there's a lot of negativity, and I think it's deserved. Like, I don't think they're going to be delivering as many vehicles as they think they will, especially with the lack of innovation with their vehicles, at least recently, and lack of new models, which we've talked about.
Right.
Long term, I think there's a lot of positivity with where the company can go and a lot of opportunity. That's my high level opinion. But
Okay.
this earnings quarter doesn't change any of that. If anything, I'm surprised that revenue beat.
Well, it's because of the tax credit going away, right? Like the $7,500 tax credit. A lot of people were executing they were purchasing EVs because of that $7,500 tax credit going away. So the expectations now are pretty mild for Q4. So there should be sort of pretty substantial revenue decline in Q4. Actually, how does their revenue compare to?
It looks
Uh,
like revenue is supposed to be 25 billion, 25.5 billion next quarter.
okay,
So it's
so
supposed to drop by $1 billion
3 billion because it's a billion from the previous year,
from
or
no. I'm just comparing to the current the earnings that were just released. Sorry.
well, the earnings that were just released was 28.1 billion. So going from 28.1, and I have it up here if you want to. I don't know if you can see my screen, but
Yeah, sorry. I was looking at the estimates. That's why I had it wrong.
yeah, no, no, no worries. But yeah, they did 28 billion, which is the first quarter in a long time that in a couple of years where they have beat year over year. So last year in Q3 they did 25.1 billion, and this year they did 28. And again, that's largely because of the $7,500 tax credit going away. But their energy business is also growing. So I'm kind of curious how the breakdown of their revenue is going to be. So when we get some of the details on energy breakdown and all that stuff, we'll analyze their quarterly report a little bit further. But but like if you look at their sort of overall revenue for the past couple of years, it's been relatively flat. Let's hide the estimate so we can kind of see it better. It's been relatively flat, and there aren't any catalysts for revenue growth in the next year, right? Because they're not going to grow as a result of Optimus robots because they're not even ready to sell them yet. And even when they do, they're going to be selling them in the thousands, quantity of thousands, not millions. And then they have no new vehicles coming out either. And the robotaxi business is going to take a lot of time to ramp up. So 2026 is basically shot from a revenue perspective. No new vehicles. Robotaxi revenue is going to be relative in the hundreds of millions. If they're lucky, it might break a billion, maybe hit 2 billion if they're really, really lucky. So 2 billion on $100 billion of revenue is like less than 2% of that revenue. So I'm worried as to what happens in the short term, meaning like and short term here being like the next 16, 18 months, right? And you said that there's a lot of negativity around the stock, and I see this like $1.5 trillion market cap, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of positivity for a company with 95 billion in revenue. So
Yeah, I mean, maybe the stock is more positive than the sentiment of, I don't know, the everyday person around Tesla.
okay, yeah, so the stock is sort of priced pretty high from your view as well, or
Yeah,
do you feel
yeah,
like
I agree
it's
with that. I mean,
okay?
it's virtually at all time highs.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
right. So, but I will say in regards to revenue growth, there is precedent for like stagnant growth. If we zoom in here, I'm on the 10-year view,
Okay.
and you could see from like 2018 to 2020, it was fairly flat as well, and then
Yeah,
it started growing. Does that mean it's going to
that's
happen
true.
again? I don't know, but there is precedent for it. So
There is
it just
precedent for it.
yeah, it helps me worry less. And at the end of the day, like, and you should never invest based on like the what ifs technically, but like they could always announce a new car at any point that they've just
Well,
been like
it'll
working
take
on.
it'll take minimum of a year before it can come out though, because they have to go through the safety standards and tests
Sure.
and road tests and all that stuff. So it's not going to be a surprise we're shipping a new product in the same way that like Apple ships a new
Right.
product all of a sudden, right? Because they don't have to go through the same rigorous standards for vehicles. But yeah, they could surprise in that they could come out with, for example, their robotaxi two-seater. That's something that they are going through testing. That you're seeing them being built, and there is some rumors that they might have a steering wheel version of it that they might sell for as little as 25 grand. And if they did do that, that could be something that could be a huge catalyst to revenues
Seems
in
like
the
a
short term.
no-brainer, personally.
It does seem like a no-brainer. So that could be the upside surprise, I guess, that they could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't make that bet, but you know,
Well, I think a lot of people are making some kind of bet that like that they are going to have pretty substantial revenue growth. Um,
yes, but I think, you know, I'm in your camp. I don't see that happening for a while.